Hello and welcome to this yoga practice for the Sacral Chakra, otherwise known as Svadhisthana in Sanskrit. This energy center is located just below the belly button and it's orange in color. It's associated with our reproductive organs, our whole pelvic area, and an imbalance in this area could be indicated by tightness in the hips. So hip openers are really healing for the sacral chakra. It could also be indicated by fertility or sexual problems or a lack of creativity or ability to manage your emotions. Let's begin in a comfortable seated position and tune into this energy center. Take a moment, closing down the eyes, sitting up straight, relaxing your shoulders. And tune into the area just below the belly button as you start to breathe more slowly. Dropping your awareness down into the body. And you might imagine the color orange and a spinning wheel of energy. Beautiful. Just take one more breath here. With the exhale, releasing any tension in the face or the shoulders. And then gently blinking open the eyes. We're going to make our way into tabletop, coming onto all fours. Just take a moment to align shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Press the earth away, broadening through your shoulder blades and connecting to your center. As you breathe in, extend your right leg back, toes are turned down, keeping your spine straight and make sure you're not collapsing your lower back. Press your heel to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale and step your right foot through towards the top of the mat, coming into low lunge. So we're framing the right foot, front knee is over front ankle. Make sure you've got plenty of space between your front foot and your back knee. So you might want to move this knee back a little bit. You can come up onto the toes and then bring it back, but ensure you keep the alignment front knee, front ankle. Sink your hips forward, shine your heart forwards. Connecting to your center, pull your belly in towards your spine and then inhale. Sweep your arms up, lift and lengthen into low lunge. Shoulders draw down away from your ears. So we're sinking forward into the hips, but we're not collapsing forward. So we want to maintain a connection to our center. So we're still lengthening and lifting, but allowing the hips to come forward. Connecting to your breath. Beautiful. Take one more breath in. And then exhale, slowly sweep your hands back down. We're going to send our hips back. So we're aligning our hips with that back knee, coming into half split. Slide your right heel forward. You can keep this alignment here, more or less hip over knee, or even bring the knee back a little bit, depending on your flexibility in your right hamstring. We're really flexing the foot, so pulling the toes towards the right shin to find that stretch. Lengthen out through your spine, shoulders back. If you want to deepen the stretch, you can walk your hands forward. And if you're struggling to bring your hands towards the ground, you can rest on a prop of any description. You can also bring your hands onto the inside of your right leg. Breathe as you relax your shoulders away from your ears. Beautiful. Take one more breath in and out. Perfect. From here, we're just going to gently slide the right foot back. You can bring hands onto the inside of the right leg and then bring it all the way back into tabletop. Just take a moment here. You can shake out the hips. Notice how the right side and left side feel in comparison. And then find your neutral tabletop position again, aligning shoulders and wrists, hips and knees. Press the earth away, connect to your center, belly to the spine. Back is flat. Inhale your left leg back this time, toes turn down, press your heel to the sky, heart shines forward. Breathe in. Exhale, step through to the top of the mat, coming into low lunge, aligning front knee, front ankle, and sliding this right knee back as far as you can to get nice and deeply into the pose. Sink the hips forward, open your heart, connect to your center, belly to the spine, and then inhale, lift. Use that connection to lift up. You can sink the hips forward, but continue to lengthen through the spine. Stay connected to your center, shoulders down. Find your breath. Relaxing the muscles in your face. Beautiful. One more breath in. And exhale. Float your hands down, send the hips back, finding half split on the other side. You can slide your heel forward, make it work for you. Flexing your foot, pulling your left toes towards your shin. Position your hands where it feels good. Maybe walk them forward to intensify the stretch. Stay lifted through your heart. And breathe. Notice if you're holding any tension in the face or the shoulders. Beautiful. Take one more breath here. I'm going to slowly release, bringing hands onto the inside of your right leg and then step it back. Just come into child's pose for a breath or two. Notice how your hips feel. Inhale now as you look forward. Exhale, make your way into tabletop, preparing for downward facing dog. So the hands can be a little bit further forward than the shoulders now. Spread the palms wide, tuck the toes, breathe in. Exhale, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal out. Lift your hips up high. Find stillness, take a deep breath in and out. Bend your knees, look forward, make your way to the top of your mat, finding forward fold. With the inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Open your heart, bring your palms together, exhale, hands to your heart center. Take a moment of stillness, take a breath. One more breath here, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, step your left foot back. You can bring hands to your hips. Coming into a wide-legged position now. So toes in, heels out slightly. You can come as wide as it feels good. find this position where the toes are just turned slightly further in than the heels, and then energize and straighten the legs. So you want to press firmly into the outer edges of your feet and then lengthen out through your spine. Draw your tailbone down. So your spine is straight. Allow the crown of the head to be lifted towards the sky. Breathe in. And then exhale. We're going to fold forward. Try and maintain a straight spine as you do this. And move from the pelvis, so hinging from the hips. Move slowly and try and keep that straight spine, and then you're going to release your hands towards the ground if you can. Again, if you need a prop, place your hands on something here. When you get to this position, you might feel like you can walk your feet out wider, in which case go for it. Keep pressing into the outer edges of the feet so the weight isn't falling in, and we're keeping the legs energized. From here, start to ease down. You might keep your hands on the ground, grab the opposite elbows and relax the head. Maybe take hold of the ankles. Explore this pose when you get down here. Find stillness if it feels good, or a little movement. Connect to your breath. Amazing. Take one more breath here, full breath in and out. From here, inhale, press into your fingertips, lengthen, find a halfway position. And then if you've taken your legs out really wide, you might just heel toe them in a little bit to come up. We're going to come up the same way we went down. So hands to hips, find a long spine, and then hinge at the hips to come all the way back up. Amazing. When you get up here, turn your heels in and your toes out. We're going to set up for goddess pose. So for goddess pose, we're going to be sinking down into a squat. You want to try and keep your knees over your ankles. So just find that position where the knees are more or less in line with the ankles. We don't want to have the heels too far in so that the knees are going out over the toes. And really turn your toes out. The important thing with this pose is to try and make sure that your knees are driving out and not caving inwards. So we're externally rotating the hips. And the other thing to be mindful of here is your pelvis. So as you sink down, you don't want to be over tilting. What we're trying to do here is have a little tuck of the tailbone and maintain that as we sit down into our squat so that our spine is staying upright and we're not tilting forwards. So we'll take it slow. Hands can be on the hips, or you can bring them into prayer position here. Take a deep breath in, lengthen, draw your tailbone down. And then exhale, slowly start to sink down, being really mindful of your pelvis and also where the knees are going. So it's not about necessarily going really, really deep straight away. It's about finding that alignment. So we're really opening through the inner thighs. You can check in with your pelvis. And then hold. And focus on your breath. If you'd like to try a slight variation, open your arms into cactus. Spread your fingers wide, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Maybe sinking a little bit lower. Well done, let's hold for 3 more breaths. 1, 2, and on 3, press through the heels, come up slowly. Well done. Step back to the top of your mat. Take a moment of stillness here in mountain pose. Hands to your heart. Take one more deep breath in and out. Inhale your arms up, open through your heart. Bring your palms together, exhale and fold all the way down, flat back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank. Breathe in, belly to the spine. You can drop the knees here if you need to. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold it here, take a few breaths. Exhale, lower the knees. We've got one final pose. We're going to come into pigeon pose. So we'll take this from tabletop so I can break it down. So coming into tabletop, slide your right knee towards your right wrist. So you want your right knee to touch the right wrist. Tuck your toes on your left foot, lift the back knee, and then from here walk your right foot over to the left hand side of the mat. You can take hold of it, give it a helping hand, so bring it over as far as you can, and then lower the back knee down again. So depending on how tight you're feeling in this right hip, you can then walk your left knee back and come down a little bit lower. We want to try and square the hips here. And you've got options. You can stay lifted, or you can start to ease down and relax your head down. Maybe relaxing on your arms. You can reach your arms forward. Rest your forehead on the ground. Explore what feels best here for you. This is a really great hip opener. It might feel quite intense. If it gets too intense, just bring the left knee in a little bit closer and lift the body up. As you breathe, allowing the tension to melt away from that right hip. Relaxing the muscles in your face. Beautiful. Let's take 3 more breaths slowly here, breathing in and out. In and out. Last one, in. Use your exhale to slowly release. Step your right foot back into tabletop. Shake out the hips, notice how they feel. And then slide your left knee towards your left wrist. Tuck the toes on the right foot, lift that knee out the way, and bring your right foot over to the right hand side of the mat. Lower the knee down. You can walk it back as much as it feels good to do so. If you're super tight, keep that knee in and maintain a little bit of space. Find what feels good here. Square the hips. You can stay lifted, you can come down, you can move slowly. Tuning into the sensations as you move. Noticing where those sticking points are, where it feels like you need a release. And relaxing for a few breaths. Feeling the tension melt away from that left hip now. Relaxing all the muscles in your face. Beautiful. Let's do 3 final breaths together. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, release gently. Beautiful. Just take a moment here. And when you're ready, you can come to a seat to end the practice. We'll have a moment of stillness. Noticing any sensations in the body. Closing the eyes. Tuning into your solar plexus. Tuning into your sacral chakra one last time. Bring your hands to rest at your heart center. Breathe in. Bow your head as you breathe out. Namaste.